completion date for the Malampaya Deepwater Gas-to-Power project draws near, work continues to proceed at an ever-increasing pace in all areas. Malampaya is the largest infrastructure and investment project ever undertaken in the Philippines. The upstream component is being developed by Shell Philippines Exploration BV, together with joint venture partners Texaco Philippines and Philippine National Oil Company Exploration Corporation on behalf of the Philippine government's Department of Energy. June 2000 saw the successful completion and float-out of the Concrete Gravity Structure, or CGS, and its eventual installation offshore 50 kilometers northwest Palawan. Now in place on the seabed, some 43 meters below sea level, the CGS awaits the arrival of the topsides in early 2001. By August, abandonment of the site in Subic proceeded in compliance with the Environmental Compliance Certificate and approved abandonment plan. Meanwhile, 80 kilometers offshore northwest Palawan, drilling and development of Malampaya Wells 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 were completed on November 5. Moreover, top section drilling of Malampaya Oil Rim Well number 10 had started. After the successful commencement of pipe-laying activities on June 12, pipe-lay vessel Solitaire continued its long voyage to completion, weaving through the islands of Mindoro, Linapacan, and Culion. With an average of 6 kilometers of pipe laid per day, the vessel arrived at the CGS on October 22. Finally, on November 8, laying of the 504-kilometer Malampaya pipeline from Batangas to Palawan was successfully completed after 5 months of activity, during which time the vessel laid a maximum of 7.4 kilometers in a single day. The next project for the vessel was the most technically challenging element of the pipeline scope, laying the 30-kilometer deepwater 16-inch clad flow lines from the subsea wells to the platform. The stainless steel internal layer inside these flow lines required new leading-edge technology for welding and inspection. By February 2001, all pipe laying for the project will be complete. By then, over 1,000 joints of pipe will have been laid and over 200,000 metric tons of rock will have been placed along the pipeline route to provide a smooth support for the pipeline on the rocky and uneven seabed. In Batangas, the Calm Buoy, which will be used to load condensate to tankers, was completed at the AG&P construction yard. On November 13, it was finally launched and towed out to sea for temporary storage in Subic Bay until its installation offshore in January 2001. Also, the anchor boxes, which will provide gravity mooring for the Calm Buoy, were completed. These, together with their massive chains, were installed by Solitaire in mid-November and ballasted to provide the lateral restraint to keep the Calm in place. At the onshore gas plant, great strides in a growing manpower complement of up to 2,800 workers paved the way to outstanding progress. During the period of this report, all steel work was completed, along with most civil and structural construction work. Pipe installation, cable pulling, and electrical and instrument equipment erection is progressing well. By end December, 265 pieces of major equipment were installed, comprising vessels, pumps, heat exchangers, boilers, and gas turbine generators. Almost 96% of all equipment has arrived on site, and the remainder is expected to arrive in January 2001. Overall, the gas plant was 77% complete at year-end. Stringing and welding of the main export pipeline from the gas plant through the Shell refinery was also well underway. This 2.5-kilometer pipeline will tie into the existing 7.5-kilometer-long Santa Rita pipeline.
To date, we have about 2,000 people on site, most of which have been recruited in the local Talim area, And together with our EPC contractor Fosterwiller, they're doing an excellent job.
Extensive and ongoing training and support for all staff working on the gas plant has been an essential part of the success of this part of the project, contributing to a highly satisfactory 5 million man-hours without lost time injury, which was achieved on November 29. This is the highest HSE statistic achieved to date on any of the project sites. An excellent result, especially considering the size of the workforce, the majority of whom are Filipinos who have received a range of specialized training courses as part of the Malampaya Project's commitment to sustainable development in action. At Cooper Cameron in Singapore, integration testing on the subsea manifold and Christmas trees was completed. On December 1, 2000, the manifold was finally loaded out for transportation to Palawan. It will be installed on the seafloor, 820 meters below sea level by pipelay vessel Solitaire in February 2001. The manifold acts as the collection point for the Malampaya gas from the wells, which is directed through jumpers to the 30-kilometer flow lines to the CGS. Capping all year 2000 milestones was the jacking up of the topsides at the Sembawang Yard in Singapore. With all major equipment installed and hooked up, installation of the jacking columns followed, which enabled the lifting of the entire topsides 16 meters from the ground and allowed placement of the loadout frame underneath. The jacking system also enabled the entire structure to be weighed. Well within the original engineering design parameters, the topsides weigh just under 11,000 tons. Positioning the loadout frame correctly is a critical part of the operation. Over a period of 6 hours, the topsides was slowly lowered into place and fixed into its transport position. The topsides is almost ready for the journey to Palawan. Further onshore commissioning will continue before the actual loadout in March 2001. Meanwhile, continued progress was visible in the downstream component of Malampaya. KEPCO continued to make good progress with the Ilihan Power Plant construction and is on schedule to start commissioning the plant on liquid fuel in the second quarter of 2001. Both blocks of the Santa Rita Power Plant, totaling 1,000 megawatts, have been on commercial operation and currently operate on liquid fuel until natural gas becomes available in October 2001. Construction work for San Lorenzo is reported to be ahead of schedule for completion in the middle of 2002. Commissioning of the plant is also expected to begin in October 2001. Efforts to contribute to society and the environment in a sustainable manner were likewise continuous, in keeping with the Malampaya partners' commitment to sustainable development. On November 16, SPEC signed with Worldwide Fund Philippines a memorandum of agreement to pursue the Malampaya Sound Ecological Study Program.
This project is being supported by Shell. What we're doing is basically research work on the dolphins, the biological aspect and the population dynamics of the Irrawaddy dolphins in Malampaya Sound.
The agreement entails research and safeguarding the Malampaya Sound area in Palawan for the protection of the endangered Irrawaddy dolphins. And on November 26, the Palawan Adventist Hospital's newly built emergency room and upgraded operating units were inaugurated. The upgrading of the hospital stems from SPEC's desire to establish a stabilization and treatment facility as part of the company's emergency response plan for the Malampaya Project. As such, it is likewise SPEX's contribution to the sustainable development of the province by improving the hospital's charity programs. In virtually every area, the Malampaya Project is very much on track to deliver clean and indigenous fuel from Palawan on October 1, 2001. This vital landmark project is expected to aid in the development and economic recovery of the Philippines, at the same time break ground to a new and exciting industry. With only a few months to completion, the Malampaya partners are committed to ensuring that this undertaking benefits both a nation and its future.